Hello, this video is designed to act as a how-to guide for the writing of argumentative paragraphs in CHC 2DI academic history. The first thing you need to do is scroll down to the argumentative paragraph writing section on the course Moodle page. From here you can see all of the different files that will be necessary for you to complete your argumentative paragraph. To begin, we will open the file titled Argumentative Paragraph Description. If you are unfamiliar with argumentative paragraph writing, you will need to read this file first, especially if this is the first argumentative paragraph that you're going to be writing in this course. You can also use it for as a form of reference in future argumentative paragraphs. This will be read in class together, but you can also use it for your reference at a later date. So here is the two-page document. Once you're familiar with the description of the argumentative paragraph, the second file I'd like to draw your attention to is the components of the argumentative paragraph. I will open that file to show you. This is a breakdown of all the essential parts that make up the argumentative paragraph. It provides a definition of all the parts, as well as the purpose, what that part is meant to, the function that part performs in the argumentative paragraph. So that will be very helpful for you in understanding the purpose of each of the different parts. If you scroll down further, I've provided a flow chart of how all the parts fit together, and this may help you visualize how the separate parts fit together to form the whole paragraph. So that is the description and the components of the argumentative paragraph. Now that you're familiar with the description of the argumentative paragraph, what we will look at now is the various parts that make up the actual paragraph. I've included here a checklist. And this checklist goes over what you should be doing before you write the paragraph, as well as what you should be doing during the writing process. You'll note at the top the before writing section. It says that you have to review the elements of the argumentative paragraph. That's the description file we just showed, as well as reviewing your knowledge of the topic upon which you're writing. So if the topic is the Treaty of Versailles and whether it was fair in its treatment of Germany, you'd want to review that content prior to writing the paragraph. Now, below is very, very important. These are the stages of the writing process. Now you may be familiar with this from other classes, but I will go over it here as well. The first stage is the brainstorming stage. Usually this will be done in class together, and as a whole class we will brainstorm ideas that support the position, but also those that are contrary to the position, the opposite of the position. So I've thought about the issue and have recorded ideas in both the yes and no sides of the issue organizer. Each of the components that are listed in this chart here are also found back here. So brainstorming, the issue organizer. It is simply a T-chart with yes as one possible alternative and no as the other. You will either be asked to write the issue in yourself, was the Treaty of Versailles fair in its treatment of Germany, or I will provide you with an issue organizer with the issue already listed. In the two columns you will now record, based on the content, based on what you know about the topic, points that you feel support that. Let's say that the affirmative that yes, the Treaty of Versailles was fair in its treatment of Germany, you will record those points here, and on the other side you will record points that that would be considered the alternative. No, it was not fair in its treatment of Germany. The second part of the writing process is the paragraph outline. Once you have completed the brainstorming section and filled in points for both the yes and the no columns of the issue organizer, you are ready to complete your paragraph outline. For the paragraph outline, you will need to decide on a position, yes or no. So you will look at the evidence as recorded in the issue organizer, and you will determine which position, yes or no, you feel most comfortable arguing. And you will decide this based on really the weight, the quality of the evidence recorded. You will need to ensure that you can come up with at least 3 distinct points to make up your overall position, to support your overall position. So here we can see all the different components that make up an argumentative paragraph in an outline form. So you will create a title, topic sentence, a transition word to introduce each of the 3 points, as well as to introduce or begin the concluding sentence, and then you will make up your paragraph with 3 distinct arguments, and each argument is composed of a point, a proof, and an explanation. The point clearly states the overall argument. The proof provides evidence in support of the point, and then the explanation explains how the point and proof link back to your overall topic sentence. And you will repeat that process 3 times. Argument 1, argument 2, argument 3. Now, the topic sentence and the concluding sentence are going to be very, very similar to one another. In the topic sentence, it's very important that you do 2 things. First, you make a very clear thesis statement. And in this thesis statement, you will make it very clear to the reader, which in most cases will be me, but it could also be your peers. You'll make it clear to the reader what position you are taking on the issue. So if we go back to the example I mentioned earlier, was the Treaty of Versailles fair in its treatment of Germany? If you decided no, it was not, your thesis might sound something like this: the Treaty of Versailles was not fair in its treatment of Germany. Now, by doing that, you've outlined 2 important pieces of information for your reader: what the issue is, the treatment of the Treaty of Versailles and its treatment of Germany, and also your position on that issue, that you'd think it was not fair. Now, the topic sentence is not complete yet, though. You've stated your thesis, but then you also need to follow that by briefly introducing your 3 arguments which will follow that support your position. So, our topic sentence might sound something like this: the Treaty of Versailles was not fair in its treatment of Germany because reparations were far too expensive. It was not fair for Germany's military to be so significantly weakened, and the war guilt clause created a sense of shame which affected future generations of Germans. Now, that is just a quick little example, but that is very clear, very concise, and in reading that, the reader is aware of what arguments will follow in support of the position. Once you've completed the paragraph outline, you are in fact almost done your argumentative paragraph. Next, you will self-edit. You will proofread your own paragraph outline looking for any changes. Once you've self-edited, you will complete a rough copy. Now, this can either be typed or it can be written out by hand. If you're typing the rough copy, be sure to save the rough copy as separate from the final draft. Once the rough copy is completed, you need to find a peer to edit your rough copy. Someone in the class, someone that is not in the class. It could be a family member, but you want an outside set of eyes to take a look at your rough copy of the argumentative paragraph, and they're going to look for anything that is unclear, spelling, grammar, sentence structure, things like that. They might want to look at the checklist as well that I'll show you momentarily, so they can look and make sure that your paragraph includes all the important elements that need to be included in there. Once the peer editing is completed, you will complete a good copy, and the good copy should be typed. Now, the final 2 things I'll draw your attention to are the rubric and the argumentative paragraph checklist. So I'm going to first begin with the checklist. This checklist goes over all the different parts of the argumentative paragraph, and as well as the stages of the writing process. So, does your paragraph include a title? Have you indented the first sentence of the paragraph and ensured that there is no further indentation? Because remember, this is just one single paragraph. Have you included transition words for each of your 3 arguments as well as the concluding sentence? Have you communicated your ideas clearly using proper spelling, grammar, and punctuation? And then finally, this is very important and a common mistake: have you used formal language? By this, we want to avoid using personal pronouns, slang, texting or kind of informal language, as well as contractions and rhetorical questions. Those are not to be included in formal writing. And then finally, have you proofread and edited, and then also revised any problems? Once you're confident that all of this is completed, you're ready to submit your paragraph, and this here is the rubric that is used to evaluate all argumentative paragraphs, and it outlines exactly what each of the expectations is, the criteria for evaluation and assessment. Now, You'll notice here that I've included PDF as well as Word versions of the issue organizer and the outline. This is for your purposes. If you would prefer to print these, you could use the PDF and then write in anything by hand. If you would prefer to complete everything electronically, you can just simply open the Word documents and type in and then save them as separate files. And then the final thing I'll let you know is there will always be a hand-in folder available to you in Moodle where you can submit all files that you've completed toward the argumentative paragraph electronically. Be sure to complete, or sorry, be sure to, yes, to complete, but also submit the issue organizer, the outline, rough draft, and final draft. If I've given you a rubric, a hard copy of a rubric, please also submit that in class to me so that I can use that to evaluate your paragraph. If you ever have any questions about this, please come and see me and I can help you to clarify this. Thank you.